Intro 30 seconds. Hello everyone, welcome to another chilling episode of Unsolved Mysteries Uncovered. Today, we're diving into a story that's been haunting the hearts and minds of many for decades. It's about Laureen Ron, a 14-year-old girl who vanished under mysterious circumstances on April 26, 1980. Can you imagine how this would feel? To have a child disappear in broad daylight with no trace left behind? This is the story we're going to unravel today. But before we begin, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and turn on those notifications for more stories like this one. S-Story main content. Let's set the scene April 26, 1980 in Manchester, New Hampshire. The night was calm but dark with a chill that seemed to whisper secrets through the air. Laureen Ron, just 14 years old, lived in a small apartment building on the outskirts of town. She had always felt like an outsider in her own home. Laureen's relationship with her mother, Judith, was tense and strained. The walls were thick with silence, punctuated by heated arguments that often echoed through their small space. What would you do if your mom didn't want you around? This wasn't just a story, it was the reality for Laureen. She dreamed of escaping to Florida, where she thought her father lived. On the evening of April 26th, something felt different in the air. The day had been unremarkable, but as night fell, Laureen seemed restless. Her mother was out, and she spent time with a friend named Kristen, someone she had only known for 2 weeks. They were joined by another young man who remains anonymous to this day. Laureen's apartment buzzed with life that night. Friends came and went, laughter mixed with music, but beneath it all, there was an undercurrent of anxiety. As the clock ticked closer to midnight, Laureen began packing a small bag. What would she take? A few clothes, maybe some personal items, but nothing more than what could fit in her hands. Kristen, who was feeling tired and worn out, drifted off on the couch. She woke up later to find Laureen gone, her bed empty, her belongings neatly arranged as if she had vanished into thin air. The door was slightly ajar, leading outside into the cold night. It wasn't until morning that the gravity of the situation hit home. Judith came back from wherever she had been and found no trace of her daughter. Panic set in. Where could she have gone? A search party was quickly assembled but found nothing out of place except for a few scattered belongings outside the apartment complex, as if someone had rushed to leave. As days turned into weeks, and weeks into months, Laureen's disappearance became one of those cases that never seemed to fully fade from public memory. Her friends began piecing together details of her last night. Michelle, another childhood friend who was close with both Judith and Laureen, revealed a side no one expected. She shared how Laureen felt trapped by the constant tension at home. Laureen's father lived in Manchester too, but she had never mentioned this to her mother or friends. It seemed like he wasn't as much of a refuge as she hoped. The dynamics within the family were toxic. Shouting matches and accusations filled their days. The case was full of twists and turns. Phone records showed that Laureen's father lived just 3 miles away, but no one knew why Laureen never reached out to him. A friend named Sam compiled a dossier on the case over several years, interviewing more than 100 people connected to it and tracking down leads, only to find that his findings were ignored by the Manchester police. Another layer of mystery was added when Judith later married a strip club owner. After his death, she became associated with an entertainment company, raising questions about her life before and after Laureen's disappearance. Then, there's Bob, a man known to be close to several members of Laureen's family. His criminal history included violence, from domestic incidents to bar fights. He was reportedly seen near the apartment building on the night Laureen vanished. The mystery deepens with his death in 2024. Leaving behind more unanswered questions. What if Laureen had found a way out? What if she had finally managed to escape her troubled life, only to face an even darker reality? This case has been revisited countless times over the years by investigators and true crime enthusiasts. In a recent podcast episode, Michelle shared revelations that might change everything we thought about this case. She revealed how Laureen's disappearance was initially seen as a way for her to get away from her mother, but later realized it was more sinister. The night Laureen vanished remains etched in the minds of those who knew her and those who have followed her story. It's a chilling reminder that sometimes, even when we think someone is right there beside us, they could be gone without leaving a trace. Fro 33 seconds. That's it for today's episode. We've only scratched the surface of Laureen Ron's disappearance, but every detail brings us closer to understanding what really happened that night in April 1980. If you want more stories like this one, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. Until next time, stay curious and keep looking for answers. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the enigma of Laureen Ron's disappearance. Let's hope that someday, somewhere, someone will find the missing pieces of this puzzle. Until then, keep asking questions and searching for truth.